Okay, this is our little template that we've got here. So if you've actually brought this off us in acrylic, there is a choice of having it with a template, which will come with a numbered pieces like this, or you could just have the plain board. So these are all numbered, and obviously these ones here are just symmetrical, so you use the same one, just flip it over for these ones here. Alright, so let's cut our first piece. I'm going to go with a nice orange glass. Okay, and with a marker. And when you cut this out, make sure you cut on the inside of this black marker. Don't cut on it or on the other side, otherwise it's going to make the piece a lot bigger. And I'm using an oil sword cutter today. So I'm just going on the inside of that black line. This one here, it's quite a sharp curve, so I'm going to take it out in little bits at a time. And then slowly come in a little bit more. And I'm using grouting pliers just to side bite that little bit out. We're going to give that a quick grind. Okay, so I've actually already done one side already, just quickly. So now I actually want to mosaic the other side. The other way that you can do this is using transparent glass, and then you only need to do one side because the light will come through. But I'm going to do both sides, so each side will have a different colour. Okay, so that's what it will look like when it's finished. So now we're doing the other side. As I said, if you're doing transparent stained glass, you won't need to worry about doing both sides. I just want a different look on the other side. Right, so it's still drying. It's just about dried. I'm just using prep glue. It's just a glue of my choice, but there is a whole wide range of different glues you can use. The reason why I'm choosing prep is I'm using mirror tiles, and prep glue is neutral curing. Some harsher glues, silicones example, not all silicones, aren't neutral curing, and they can sometimes deteriorate the coating on the back of mirror. But however, that's what I'm using today. Right, so where's our one that we cut out? Here we go. And that's why it's good having all your mirror already cut, because then you can just pop this first section on here and carry on cutting more of your templates. I've actually just done another one, which is this one here. So what I will do is I'll glue these two down, and then I'll just do the mirror edging, and then I will do the other ones. We can always adjust by grinding a bit more if they don't quite fit in, as long as we get a nice mirror edging around them. So that one looks pretty good. I'm going to be using two size paintbrushes. I usually just put a little bit of prep glue. I've actually got some in this smaller bottle, but I put a little bit out on a plastic lid to work with. Make sure your paintbrushes are dry, but I've got two size paintbrushes. I've got a slightly wider one for my bigger pieces, and then I have a thinner paintbrush for my smaller bits of mirror for around the edging. I find having this wider one, it just helps to coat the glass evenly, and you get your glue right to the end, which helps for good adhesion. It's quite good having one side done already, because it sort of becomes my template. Otherwise I've got to rely on the pattern. And once you peel this off, you can see the slightly engraved pattern. Right, So that's 1, 2, so what I'll do now, I might cut out these 2 here and a couple of more of the bigger pieces, and then we can just lay it down. And since I've already pre-cut our mirror, it makes it nice and easy just to continue on. Right, I'm going to turn that one over because it's symmetrical, so that'll be just the same one for the other side, but turned over that way. So it's good when you've got a grinder because you can always tidy up those little bits if you need to. So I'll give that a wee tidy up there and there. Okay, I've got most of them glued down. I actually kind of like to work a little bit at a time, so I'll do a little bit of mirror and glue these as I go. There's actually, I've stuck these down. But that way I can adjust the mirror if I need to. Sometimes they might move, like this one's just moved. So you can sort of keep an eye on it. So what we'll do now is I've got these ones glued down, these 2, I'm going to just outline these with a mirror. Okay, so now we're going to get ready to grout. I've left it for a couple of hours to dry. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grout this black. Only because it gives me like a lead light effect because it's going to be hanging outside. With it going outside, I'm also going to put a grout additive into my grout. That just helps to protect the grout, stop it going mouldy, and also just strengthen it and waterproof it as well. So with the additive, I'm using 4-in-1 Decor grout additive. You can get this from Bunnings, obviously in a smaller container as well. So the recipe for this is just even amounts of water, so 50% water, 50% additive, and just give it a good shake before you use it. So what I usually start doing is I put a cap full of additive in, and then a cap full of water until I get the consistency of a thick toothpaste mix. So I think I'll probably need another cap full of that one. I'm just using room temperature water. Okay. So I do have a mask on just while I'm mixing the grout. Right, so another additive. Okay, and that is the consistency that I want to achieve. Okay, so we've sat for 5 minutes. Just give it a quick re-stir because it sort of thickens up quite fast with the additive in it. Right, and now we're ready to paste it on. Sometimes it's a good idea to put a couple of cotton buds in that top hole. That's where our rope's going to go through. Beautiful. So just spread it over nicely. Ah, it's already looking beautiful. Telling it I like this one. Right, so I'm just pushing it all over the project. This is quite handy, this little plastic spatula, because it helps to really push it into the gaps. So I'm just moving the excess round. So you don't need to cake lots of grout on, you're only filling in the gaps that you've got there. So try and work with your excess before applying any more. Okay, so I'm taking off the excess. So you don't need to have that on there, it's all just nicely coming off, nice and tidy grouting. Just making sure I'm pushing that grout into the sides of inside the hole so the grout gets in there nicely. Beautiful. So by doing this here, it just makes it nice and clean when you do get the final clean. It's not caked in grout. Just check the sides out. Beautiful. Right, so now I'm going to leave that for probably maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It does dry a bit faster with the additive in there, so do keep an eye on it. When it starts to sort of powder off, see it's sort of powdering off quite nicely here drying. It's probably getting close to taking it off actually. As I said, it doesn't take long to dry up that additive in there. So kind of work a little bit faster. Don't zap off for a cup of tea. Anyway, just stay in check. So yeah, I think it's looking good. But I might just give it maybe 5 minutes. And then we'll come and get a nice damp cloth. See, it's already clean. Some of you have asked what I use to clean my hands when I'm grouting. I actually just use like a, I think it's a non-scratch scour thing, and I just find it's great. It even gets the glue off. So that's how I clean my hands. Just water, one of these. Okay. So same thing again, give yourself a tidy workspace. Okay, and you can see it is slowly powdering off quite nicely. So now I'm using just an old pillowcase, I think it is. I usually give myself a flat surface. Where I don't usually cake it with lots of water, I just put a little bit of water on there, sort of blend it through the cloth so it's not wringing wet, like you can't squeeze any water out of there, but it is moist on top, so it does help to glide over the project easier. And because I don't have a whole lot of grout caked on there, it is very easy just to clean it off. So flat side down, and I'm just going a circulation and round and around. And already looks good. So use your Q-tips or cotton buds if you need to just get a little bit of a clean out. Sometimes the glue can build up there, so if you just rub, that'll come off. That was my effort today. One little tiny cut, and that was just from not cleaning up my workspace. So make sure you clean after yourself when you're cutting glass. Beautiful, love it already. Okay, I'm also mindful of a lot of people cannot cut the bigger bits of glass. So another way you could attempt to do this project is cut the glass into little pieces, still use this as your template. So for example, this one here, I've just cut the pieces of glass up to go into the segments. I've still outlined it in the mirror. The other side I've done a little something different. So as I said, you don't have to do the big pieces of glass. If you cannot cut glass, this would be your other option if you've got a round wheel glass cutter. And it's perfect. And this is another one. This is gorgeous. I love this one. And that's just done with the flowers, different each side. And then this one is done with the millefiori and mirror. So these are all available, these templates, on our website. I'll drop a link in the description.